Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando, Monday, February the 17th at 6:38 p.m. We are live. Appreciate you guys' support. About 27 people live right now. Appreciate you guys. Um, Definitely excited for what's coming for the Lions. A really good game against Inter Miami. We'll discuss all of that and more. We have the news today of Nicolas Lodero and Mikey Holiday possibly on their way to Houston Dynamo. We also have Joran Gervais signing with the Lions after a phenomenal preseason. The new purple home kit, I like to call it the Hurricane kit. We're going to be reviewing the Inter game today as well. We're going to be analyzing Philadelphia. I want to thank my friends from Philly Sports Network. They gave me some expectations they have for Philly for this season, and we'll discuss all of that with you. Lineup prediction and also score predictions for the Philly game coming up here. Loud and Proud Orlando. We're here with John and Paola. John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm good, man. I'm in recovery. I had knee surgery last week, so
Oh
like
man,
it's like the pro athletes, I'm like in the recovery mode. I'm like Jansen, I'm about to make a comeback, after big ops. So I'm doing good, but excited, man. This has been a big week of news, lots going on. Home opener is coming. It's gonna be, packed. Stay here with Loud and Proud Orlando. Subscribe, like all that stuff. We got you covered for opening week. It's going to be exciting, and I can't wait.
fantastic. Paola, how are you? Good to see you
I'm
again.
doing good. Back with my favorite people. It's the home opener week at last. It is opener week. So it's been like for me, it's been like too long without Orlando City, but I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. We're gonna read some comments. We're gonna be reading some comments from the get-go right now. Thank you for your support. Let's start with Miss Francis says, "Good evening, all. Vamos, Orlando." Thank you. Guille Carlos says, "Vamos." Thank you, Guille. Giorgio says, "Hi guys, welcome back. I'm happy for the performance against Miami. We played well. Unfortunately, the referee and our defense were no good. You cannot concede those goals. Yeah, especially last minute. Unfortunately, it's just I call it they poop the bed a little bit at the end. But hey, David Albury. Good evening, everyone. Evening, David. How are you? However, I'm positive for the NML beginning. I think we're ready to play against Philly. I have to admit, I'm a little sad for the news of Oladero's departure. Hope new players will join us as Giorgio. Possibly, yes. Joshua Tall. Oh no, about John having surgery. I hope recovery goes well. John says Joshua. Let's get the win Saturday. Thank you to everybody. But yes, let's start with the news today. The news today of Nicolas Lodero and Mikey Holiday. And I think we talked about it briefly. There were two announcements that the official announcement has been Joran Gervais joining Orlando officially. Now, I do want to say that's a great pickup. That's a great signing. But today, Forever a Lion times two. Nico Lodero and Mikey Holiday, which I want to say it's an amazing human being, and I had the pleasure of also talking to his folks. They're great people. They definitely the club also wants to do good for him, and clearly he was not going to have a lot of minutes with Orlando this year. So Houston Dynamo, they're trying to pick up them too. They're working on finalizing a deal, according to Tom Bogert. Nico and Mikey going on a package to Houston. Lodero had 11 assists last season, which we can definitely discuss this. I feel that Lodero it's not happy with kind of his role in Orlando, and I know that I'm not gonna say the source, but it's clear that he's been wanting out for a while now, and obviously the club's going to do what's best for business and for the player because they respect the career of a footballer. 1,697 minutes. The more you know, forever Lions. John, what's your first impressions on this news right here?
I mean, I think for what they were in the squad, I don't think that this is a problem for me at all. I think, in fact, it's two guys in the squad that I would say I if you said to me who would you like l- be disappointed with the least if we lost after Muriel and his wages that he's on, my next guy up would be Nico Ladero. Not that I don't think he's a very talented player, but I think for the amount of money that he was on, he's on like 800,000 base salary. So that's a lot for a guy that's off the bench, a guy that, of course, has winning, history, is a guy that knows how to play, but didn't necessarily come on and change the game for us. I think for that amount of money, yes, you could say 10 assists. Is that kind of worth it? Um, I think personally that we were kind of overpaying him for what we're going to get out of him at the age of 36. Like last year, we got that. Who says we're going to get that amount of assists this year? Maybe. But I think more than that, he just obviously was interested in perhaps not being here. We've heard rumors of Nacional. There was, all the talk of the team out of Paraguay that was basically trying to get him to join Paraguay. So you thought maybe there's some truth from Nico's side. And then the fact that he's willing to go, I think, to Houston really shows that he wants to go somewhere to get starting minutes. And we're not going to give him starting minutes. And I think that's good. I think the front office should stick with that. I don't think we should cave in this scenario and be like, oh, Nico, we're going to start you, because it's not realistic. So for us, we move him on into a better situation. If that's what he wants to start, we get that money back, which, with him and Mikey, if they both go through, is going to be about $1 million base on the wages. So that is a huge chunk of wages that they might have to use some of that towards Eduard Atuesta. There's, obviously we talked before about Soria that might come in as well at D-mid. So there's lots of things you could do with those wages. And I think two guys that Mikey, not really a big miss. He's behind Alex Freeman now. He's just not, he's been so injured and it just hasn't really worked out the way we wanted to. So I'm not too upset about losing him. I think it's a shame because he's an academy product, but also if he wants minutes, it's not going to be here for me with Dagger and Alex in front of him. So I think this is a win-win. I think this is a good move. And I think the front office was smart to make it happen.
What about you, Paula? What are your thoughts on this move?
Yeah, I agree with John and everything that he said, but honestly, it was kind of a shocker because of the time. It's just the time frame. For Nico, I was expecting him leave by summer, like when the window was gonna be open again, based on Oscar Pareja's last week interview. Like people asked him about Nico, and he said, "Well, he didn't deny or confirm, obviously, right? Because it's his job not to confirm or deny. But if you read between the lines, he said that the club will make what is best for their player. So it was a little 50-50. I was gonna be not that surprised by summertime, but I'm surprised by Holiday too. He hasn't been the same since he got injured in Seattle, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember that game that his hammy was jacked up in that turf. So since then, instead of going up, he unfortunately went down. So the club is not gonna do this type of deal if it doesn't make sense. So I trust what they're doing. I mean, if we're not gonna use a player, by all means, goodbye. Thank you for everything. But if it's open up cap for our current or future signings, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, like both of you guys say, it opens up a lot of space in the wages. When it comes to Mikey Holiday, a phenomenal kid, a bright future, for him still. And I think the club, pretty much said, go fly, fly like a bird, kind of like that song by, Nelly Furtado,
Fly like an
just
eagle.
go, just make the best out of your career. I know Houston, it's a market that also I will compare it to Orlando. And I think he's definitely going to be thriving there. When it comes to Nico, I do have some information about this. And I'm going to just say it like it is. Nico thought that he was going to have, and again, don't kill me, don't shoot the messenger, but Nico thought he was going to have more of a prominent role in Orlando City because of who he is, what he's won, his career in the MLS, and unfortunately for him, the two men that were in that position outdo him tremendously. Now, mind you, he also, in his mind, he had 11 assists, which is more than what probably some of our DPs and things had. So he felt that he needed more of a feel more of like I hate to use the word respected, but
Well, the more like the important part of the
correct,
squad, like the main,
right,
the
the
kind of
main
like
guy,
the Mauricio was for us, right? Like he
correct.
wants to
I was
be
gonna say
that
that, James.
guy. Like
He
he wants to
wants to
be the
feel
10, the
right.
guy that everything goes around. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case because number one, the culture of Orlando City is they're all workhorses. That's the culture, and the head honcho is Oscar Pareja, and he's the one who plays the fiddle. He's the one who plays the tune, and they are the band. You know what I mean? And so you cannot be just a soprano and just impress everybody. You know what I mean? You gotta be a workhorse. And unfortunately for him, too, our youth players also in preseason, even during the sparring matches, apparently outshined Ladero, which made the club even more determined to say, hey, there's all these offers coming from these places that are not even close what a MLS is going to pay you. What do you want to do? We'll help you get you situated somewhere else. That's why Oscar said all those things. And eventually, that's when the Houston situation happened. I think the club did the best for the club. They truly put full trust on Joran Gervais, and the mid, and kids like Shaq Mohammed and things like that. And they are a club that is forward thinking of the future. So I asked the fans to kind of understand, especially because I've seen a lot of people say, hey, you're leaving Nico, you have a twist. I was like, they feel confident that our youth is able to fill on those shoes that Lodeiro is leaving easily. And that's why it's very important and for you guys to see the culture of the club in this move, how they're thinking ahead. They're thinking not on just keeping a 36-year-old happy. They're thinking like maybe a club like DC would, or a club like maybe, I don't know, New England would do, they're thinking of, no, we have the kids that will take us and will probably outperform and have better numbers and be more like 90-minute caliber players.
And
And so
the guy is 36. Like it's
yeah,
not, it just happens that like it's the same thing with
yeah,
Felipe, right? He's just not able to do it anymore. So yeah, no wonder you're getting
that's it.
outshone by the younger talent. They got more athleticism. But to put it in perspective, Nico started playing professional soccer in 2007
Yeah,
for Nacional. So, that's an incredible career. And to still be doing it now and to still want to like be in the starting 11 and be, playing 90 minutes. William Diaz Grana saying he's not a 90-minute player anymore. I kind of agree with that. I think that's the reason that they're
yeah,
just not he can't play 90 anymore. And I don't think there's any shame in that for him, but is he going to go to Houston and be in their starting lineup and be
Well,
able
he
to,
feels he can.
if he feels he could do a whole season for them, great, or a half season until they get in a DP, which is what Tom was referring to. So, we'll see. But I think for us, it's just we're too. I think he didn't work with our attack in that way, right? I think we're too transition, and he just didn't really fit in the D mid role. He wasn't going to play the 10. They put him on the wing sometimes. He's just like a bit part piece, but an expensive bit part piece. A expensive squad player, really. So for us, it just doesn't make sense. It makes sense to him to move on.
Now, when it comes to another info I got is obviously aside of being obviously the youth overtaking his position in a way and obviously impressing, the guys who makes the decisions of players staying or leaving, um, he felt that when he first came to Orlando, he was gonna again have that be that guy in the mid to kind of guide two young cats like for him they're two young cats like Cartagena and Araujo, and the inverse, like the reverse effect happened. He took more of a backseat, and they took they become the protagonists, and in his shoes, he feels kind of like it, what he was expected. So what he came to Orlando to do was never fulfilled. You know what I mean? So the club has helped him to take his talents, like LeBron James, somewhere else, and he still feels he's a 90-minute plus player. Now, Paula, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, like I said before, if we promise him something, we saw something in other players that could fulfill what Pareja wanted to do. And I don't like, if I own a team, I don't want sad, like, not happy players in my team, that
Yeah,
toxicity. And I'm not saying that Nico was, toxic or not, but if I have a player that is sad and don't want to play here, bye
yeah,
bye. I just want to
yeah.
wish you the best, and take your talents to a different team. But I'm with you, and I'm with William Diaz, that he's not a 90 minutes player anymore, and he needs to realize that too. But that's
Let's read
not our
some.
problem.
Let's read some comments here. Ted, go Orlando. Thank you, Ted. William Diaz, good evening, John. John, hope you recover soon. Matthew, I am cool with the sale. He's youth. The youth guys impressed me with what I saw in the preseason. Same here. No problem with this move, says William Diaz Granados. Donnie Moore. So who's going to get Nico's minutes? More than likely, Joran Gerbe. I think that's the guy. He's and I want to say hello to Joran Gerbe, who's probably watching the show right now as I'm talking to you guys, because he watches Loud and Proud Orlando, I was told today. So thank you, Joran.
Woohoo.
Joshua Tall, as of now, Muriel and Ojeda are our tens. As of now, yes, they are our tens. Joshua Tall, thank you for your support. So forever aligned, Mikey and Nico. Forever aligned. It's been great. Now, we will talk about a game that happened this weekend.
Before
How is
that,
your?
I quickly want to talk about Jean Jabet a little bit
Oh,
for a
sure, sure.
second. Just to mention on him that I think, you know, it's interesting what happened last year with Kuchevsky, and we picked up a draftee in this position, right?
Yep.
And then we thought, okay, there's a lot of talent here. Obviously, we've only seen a little bit of Gerbe, but do you guys agree with me that you feel like his level is already probably potentially better than Kuchevsky's,
For
or
sure.
is that just me pulling that out of nowhere?
Go ahead, Paula, and then I'll
No, I
finish.
was gonna say something that I noticed about Oscar Pareja and draftees. They need to prove him a lot to stay with the first team. It's not easy. So, and the little bit of what Duran has been proven with the team is more better than say his last name. I cannot pronounce his last name. Kocheski.
Kuchevsky,
Kuchevsky.
yeah.
So, so for me, I think we will see Duran having more minutes as a backup. He's a type of player who can hold the ball more, um, and plays the type of mentality like Oscar Pareja wants to. So that's what I can observe from him in the little minutes that I have seen him. So I think it's a better player. Like, I cannot give you a percent wise yet, but I can see him in the pitch way better than Koshevsky. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I don't want to butcher it. So
He comes with more accolades than Kuchevsky, in my opinion. When it comes to being one of the top uh, stat masters in the collegiate soccer. 2023 national champion with Clemson, ACC midfielder of the year, first team All ACC in 2024. So he was well regarded to be one of the best collegiate players in the nation in 2024, and it's been only 2 months since the end of 2024. So um, in preseason, he's shown a great form. The way he can defend and attack, I think that versatility of defending and attacking, especially, um, it's kind of like what Nico used to do in Seattle. That's one of the reasons why he was so successful in Seattle, because he did that in Boca Juniors, he did that in Nacional, and this kid, it's young, it's part of the you know part of a collegiate product. Orlando has thrived with collegiate draftees, and it shows. So he has full support. Not only that, he's played internationally as well. He's from France.
Yeah,
France
he's played in the French league,
Yeah, he's playing the
national
French
too
league.
at some point.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
so
I think we
it
kind of
makes sense,
assumed he
man.
was coming in like when these guys get picked up in the draft, right? And then you see him a lot in preseason, even though
Yeah,
the club hasn't said it. You usually the ones that don't make it after a few weeks, you just don't see them anymore.
yeah,
And the
you'll see
fact that
him.
Gervais was still there, that he played in the Miami game, all of that was like, okay, he's going to get the contract. So good for him and welcome and a new Lion. So that's awesome. All right, let's talk all about that Miami game, Luis.
Yeah, man. Look, first, I'm gonna read some more comments. It says, "Now I understand these moves." Says Joshua Tall. James Regis says, "For now, Ojeda needs to play 90 as Muriel is our backup striker until Duncan gets back." Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. There's gonna be more signings. Probably not DP level, but they're gonna be under 22 signings, I'm sure. And
I bet you Pasalic can play the 10 if we
yeah,
wanted him to.
and I think this is the year of the youth, and I think they're definitely going to tap into that. I think the signings that we're going to be getting are going to be more to boost our defense, and hopefully, I do agree we need a striker. I still I we did our we haven't done our predictions yet, but definitely I do agree that we do need a striker. So we'll see what they bring us. But coming to this, just look at this, man. Just look at that right there. This is honestly the highlight of the preseason. Now you have to understand, Orlando lost, basically almost every game in preseason. Um, but we were probably, hopefully we're gonna, we've won a lot of the games in preseason before and done really terribly in the beginning of the season. So personally, I take preseason as preseason. You're just trying to, figure things out. Results really don't tell a lot, but I stay with this picture tremendously. If they can make that a poster for season ticket holders, I guarantee you it's gonna be tremendous for season ticket holders to get this poster. Um, what can I say? I mean, Inter Miami went to South America and play with a really good teams. These are teams that play Copa Libertadores, teams that can definitely contend with a lot of the MLS teams, especially in the East. and they defeat them. Some of them by penalty kick, some of them within the 90 minutes. And Messi actually in this game played over 80 minutes, almost 80 minutes, and which is the most he's played in a game. And you know, it's I think we've shown a lot of form physically. I think but obviously at the end, we could have been playing really well and hold on the win, but and give Inter their first L in preseason. But you know just we didn't clear the ball too fast, man. I think that really didn't work out for us very well. But overall, as a test, I think it was positive. And I think that we're ready for Philly, man. I truly feel like we're ready for Philly. It's very telling. I do think that Orlando needs to work still on their finishing. It's something that they need to work on still, and they mentioned it in the post presser. But and another thing is Ramiro and Ojeda. Those guys cannot even get one day sick. They have to stay in shape. They have to stay on point, because that they're all we got in attack right now, aside of Angulo and Pasalic. Nico Rodriguez came in. He looked sharp. Play for on the left wing for Angulo, so he can play both wings. So that's good. But overall, I take this as a really good test. I think that I wish Orlando would have gone the win. I mean, it was all Messi fans, dude. And when I say Messi fans, it was all bandwagon fans. It's all Rowdies fans that just wanted to see Messi, and they I mean, so much so, Publix was giving away jerseys outside, so everybody would have a pink shirt with the Inter logo and Publix on the back. And
Really? And
yeah,
not Orlando City?
yes, they were given scarves. I actually have one. They're just regular Orlando City scarves that have a Publix logo on there.
Hmm.
And so if you are given to get a jersey or a scarf, what would you take?
I mean,
There you go. That's your answer right there. So people that don't follow the MLS, that are there, probably just to see Messi, they got the free shirt, the free mesh shirt that they were giving away. So the whole stadium was completely pink. When Messi left, literally 60% of the stadium left. It was 42,000 people. And we have all the video and all of that on our X account and on our website. But yeah, it was a great. It would have been fantastic to leave with the win out of Tampa in front of 42,000 Messi fans. Obviously, there were some Orlando fans, and I could probably say there were probably around less than 50 people. So that's why I said it's all Messi. So, but yeah, it was a great game. What are your thoughts, John? I don't know. You saw it on Apple TV. Maybe you got a different taste of it.
I mean, it's good. I think we're at a good spot. Like, we definitely created a lot of opportunities against them. They created a fair amount of opportunities against us, as you would expect from Inter Miami, right? Like, you don't have Messi and Suarez and Busquets and Alba out there. Like, they had the full starting 11 out there. So did we. And we pretty much matched them toe for toe. In fact, we
Yeah.
should have won. I mean,
For sure.
I'm not that bitter, because I don't really care, because it's whatever. It's a friendly, but it's like, I'll show you this here, Luis. Everybody saw the handball on the second goal. It was like the most outrageous handball ever. I don't understand how you can see in this picture here that the ref is literally staring at the player as he controls it with his arm in the box, and then that's what leads to the second goal. So, in my eyes, we won 2-1, because any ref who was actually any good would have seen that and then would have said it's not a goal.
Well, the ref,
If it had been MLS game, 100% that would have been VAR, and we'd have won that 2-1 against Inter Miami. So I think from that perspective, it was good. I think we still, that late in the game, we still made a lot of changes. We still had a lot of the youth out there giving them chances. Like Caraballo got out there and almost scored a goal. So
amazing.
to think about, we put our 16-year-old out there against, Messi and co. Like that's a huge experience for him. So I think a lot of good experience. The likes of Gervais, like we just talked about, Eduardo Tuesta. It was great to get him in, really see what he can do with Cesar in the midfield, see how that relationship goes. So I think there was a lot of positives about it. Defense wise, I think we were a little bit open at times. And Miami, especially Allende, I can't say his name correctly.
Yeah,
The new
Allende.
guy,
Yeah, no, you're great,
Allende,
man.
Allende, and
Luis Suarez.
also Segovia, the new Venezuelan kid. They were cutting it up for Miami. So, as we know, they're going to be very good. They're going to be very dangerous. But there's no reason why we can't go toe to toe with them in games. And this just showed it. Even though it was a friendly, it felt a little bit more than that because I don't think we can play Miami and it be a friendly ever. I don't think that's possible. I think there's always a little bit of like,
Yeah.
Oh, we remember what happened last time. So I think it was good, man. I think it set us up well for Philly, and I'm feeling very positive. A little bit bitter that we should have won, but whatever. MLS is gonna MLS.
What about you, Paula?
No, I did watch a little bit. I didn't watch the full 90 minutes. I was doing something else, but man, let's talk about that 16 years old Carballo. I said the name wrong. But I was like when my jaw
Caraballo,
dropped. I
like
thought it was Caraballo, but it's Carballo.
Okay, I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Cannavaro.
It's Gustavo. It's Caraballo or because in football they have it wrong then. It's
Cara-
Caraballo, right?
uh, yeah, I guess.
It's
I'll
Gustavo.
ask. I'll
It's
ask Steph. She's
65.
Venezuelan. She knows.
He's gonna be big for us. Let me tell you. He did it like he only played 20 minutes, a little bit more, but he tackled like 3 times or 4 times. He wasn't afraid. And I was like, oh my God, I was with my jaw dropped. So I love the kid. He impressed me. Hopefully we can see him more with the first team. Now Atuesta and Pasalek, they just got here and Atuesta has been what by this time 5 days with the team by Friday. And he like glad you said it, Luis. He was a plug and play with with the team.
Yeah. So,
So, I mean, we do have a lot of things to improve, like the attacking, but at least we got 2 goals into the net. I'm afraid a little bit on the defensive side. Shout out to Dagger. He was there um all the time on point. Santos, hopefully this is like a slap in his face that he needs to wake up, but it's normal. It's just the preseason. But I like what I saw on Friday. We didn't get crutch. I didn't want to see people saying Miami, Miami, Miami. They were like kind of, silence in my Twitter. But again, I was impressed. And if we continue to play like this, even better, we might see a different Orlando City this season.
yeah, I mean Santos had a bad day in the office. To me, he was the weakest link, and again, I'm not gonna pummel on Santos because it is preseason. So, but definitely we should not be seeing that type of performance in the opening game, especially in front of our fans. I do believe that fans would definitely take offense on the form that he was on against like because you have to understand Philly, and we'll analyze Philly in just a second, but Philly has really two good um, left backs and right backs, and they have Harriel, which has always been trouble for us. They also have that other kid, um, Wagner, right? Kai Wagner. So, I mean, these are, with all due respect, I mean, they probably on the Harriel side outmatch Dagger, and Wagner is a pretty good um, right back as well. So, Santos cannot be an open door, because that really calls for Allende, Suarez, and Messi to kind of link up. And Allende really had his number the whole entire game. I would have wished I would have seen maybe even Kyle Smith a little sooner and then make that option of kind of parking the bus, when it was 2-1. But Oscar was giving him, the full trust. He wants to see them. see when the potatoes hot, see how they react. And I think that you know, he definitely disappointed in this game. But again, we need to see if Orlando wants to win games and doesn't want to repeat, the form that they had in the beginning of the season last year. Orlando needs to have their defense needs to cook. Essentially, they need Schlegel look a little slow here and there. I mean, he almost got a red card. I mean, there was an instance of the game that he should have been ejected of the game for a foul from behind and things like that. There was a lot of things. Jansen still, I mean, very good cut in the attacking play, but a little slow. Like if they would have played with a little more of like trying to win it like within the 90, I don't know if he would have withstand physically, what was coming to him. And then Santos was just open. Now, what are your thoughts on Santos, John? I mean, that's why we say we need another left back.
Yeah,
to come
that's
in,
it.
yeah.
That is exactly my thought. Has always been my thought is Santos is a just about good enough starting left back for me. In fact, if we were bringing a better left back, I'd prefer to have Santos as a backup, as a second option. I think that he has moments of periods where he's really good and he's very like switched on and he's doing his defensive work, but then he goes through these games where he just constantly gets shredded apart and players go past him easily. So I think it all often depends on who he's matched up against. Like you said, Allende just had his number and he was getting cooked. And if that happens, like who are you going to bring on then? They're going to bring on Kyle Smith, and then it's going to be okay. Kyle Smith comes on just to do a defensive job, and you lose any of the attacking threat you have with your left wing back. So for me, I think, like I've said all along, we need another left back. Tahiri Brown, as good as a young 18-year-old big, for his age guy looks, he's still very, very raw. I just don't feel like we can rely on him. If Santos goes down injured, you're looking at for sure Kyle Smith being the left back for like a long period of time. And that's just not exciting and just very, I think, brings our squad down. So in terms of where you can make the squad better, where you can lift the depth, left back is like top of the list for me.
Couldn't agree more. I do want to recognize obviously a tremendous game by Galese, tremendous game by Ramiro Enrique, which he's definitely, if you follow Power Rangers, he shifted into Turbo, if you know what I mean. He was great. The chemistry and the sequences, as Oscar says, between Ojeda, Ramiro, Ivan, it's tremendous. We need to see that now with Pasalic. He needs to, on the left, kind of on the right, kind of show that with them too. You see a connection between those three, Ramiro, Ojeda, and Ivan, and that's how our goals came about. And Gales is doing great, a solid start for sure. Definitely should have been a win. Let's read some comments real quick. We have Team Bedoya says, Lewis, thanks for the live social updates of the plastic pink shirts filling out the Raymond James cash grab when Pesci was subbed out. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love. Joshua Tall Galese, great stop for sure. That made everywhere in Peru, especially too. I think there's some questions in the defense. Schlegel probably should have had a red for the foul on the top of the box. Yep. And Santos got a big cook too. Yeah, and Allende's pretty young, man. And Allende comes from the Argentinian league. And Santos is I mean, I wouldn't say MLS veteran, but I mean, he's been in the MLS for a couple seasons now. I mean, he should know a little better, I guarantee you that if I mean, and again, I don't want to knock out too hard on Santos, but if Kyle would have been there, we probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of chances. We probably would have parked the bus, but that would have been a win. That would have been an Orlando win. And that's the thing that Kyle brings you. You know what I mean? Because he knows to play under Oscar's system the best out of all players in the roster. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. News from Inter Miami, so you guys can laugh a little bit. Messi, according to sources, does not want to play the CONCACAF Champions League because it's too cold. And then I spoke to my friend Franco, and then he said, "Oh no, he does want to play, but it's just that he's afraid that he may get sick." So I don't know, man.
They moved the game like one day. It's like what? Why? Like what's the
They're saying that
difference?
there's too much snow.
I mean, whatever. Whatever. Honestly, like not that like don't want to be in the Champions League, but right now not being in the Champions League is
Yeah,
like
it's
sweet.
great.
We don't have to worry about midweek Champions League
That's
before
right.
our opening MLS game. It's just like have a week of rest, be ready for Saturday.
Well, welcome
You
to
know?
America, Lionel Messi. You're gonna
Yeah.
play in the snow. There you go.
I want to ask Paula, Luis, on her thoughts on Marco Pasalic in the Miami
Yeah.
game and what she saw from him, and what she thinks about our new DP.
I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but what I saw a little bit from him, it was quickness, man, in his vision. Like he can cook those defensive line like in 3 seconds, and that's what I saw from him in that Friday game. Hopefully, it was sad that he didn't get that goal pass from Atuesta. um I think he overthink it or something. I don't know because I have never played soccer before, but it was sad. It was sad that he didn't get that opportunity to score that goal. And I think if he would have scored it, more people would have fallen in love with him faster. But again, he's fast. He has his vision. He knows how to dribble the ball faster than other players in the team, and I'm super optimistic for this player, to be honest. Another plug and play. Hopefully, another plug and play for the team.
Yeah. Look. I feel like Pasalic is a player that once he's fully adapted in Oscar's system, I think he we're going to see more of him. But also, we need to see something that we really didn't see a lot in Faku, which is he needs to be unpredictable. So
Hmm.
right now he needs to take advantage that there's really not a lot of film on him, but mid mid season or probably a few games in, there's gonna be footage of him now that teams are gonna be looking, and he needs to find ways of still be that dangerous 1v1 player, change of pace on the wing, and we start seeing those goals and assists, because that's what people are looking for. A lot of the pundits are saying that, Orlando City, the team has lost tremendously on Facu Torres, losing Facu Torres, and I agree. Yeah, we lose a big chunk of our stats there, but these are again people that are Oscar's gonna have to find the best out of them and get the job done. So I have full faith on Marco Pasalic for now. We'll see what happens, against Philly. I think that's going to be the biggest test. Are you there, John?
Yeah. Let's talk about the perfect storm kit. Eh? The
Eh?
new one came out last Wednesday. We haven't really talked about it yet on the channel. I just thought we should kind of get everybody's opinions. I kind of like it. It's growing on me. I'm not super in love with the fact that the collar and the sleeve are different things like that. Like I want the white and the gold, like one or the other. I don't like that there are two different colors there. I think the pattern is cool. It's different for us, right? I think we took a shot on doing something different that wasn't just a standard purple jersey, and I think that's cool. I think some people have said it looks like a training top. I think that's a little harsh. I think it's a bit nicer than that. I think when you see it in person, you can really see those actual like patterns inside of it. Luis, what do you think about the perfect storm kit?
I love it. I love it. I think it's it go. I mean, the whole point of having a perfect storm. I thought it was going to be called the Hurricane Kid, but definitely it is. it is nice. I like it. There's people like they think that Red Bull's hideous Red Bull's jersey is better than Orlando's. Uh
Don't even get me started on some kit rankings, bro. I've
Man,
seen
I'm
some
telling
wild
you, I don't
opinions.
know what Bob's smoking, man. I
I've seen
mean,
some wild opinions on some kits
like
this week. So
Bob's he thinks that Vancouver's is the best kit. Come on, bro. Are you serious?
that is wild. That's a
Like
horrible kit.
look, the whole point of the kit is a storm, rains, freaking lightning, like it has a 407 on the bolt. It's great. People say, "Oh no, not a lot of gold, bro." Has our fist? None of our kits have been all pure gold. Gold is not our official color. The white was the first jersey that Orlando had in the MLS too. So I just think if you use gold all the time, I mean, you only have limited options with Adidas too. You know what I mean? So
Paula, what do you think about the perfect storm kit?
I don't hate it, but I don't love it yet. Like, I want to see it in person because that happened to me with the wall kit. The details with the wall kit and the little blocks, in the shirt, you wouldn't appreciate that in a picture. So I need to see it in the um in person. But we could have been worse. I mean, have you seen other jerseys? And we haven't had a bad jersey at all
yeah,
through all this time. So I mean, I could be growing on it further and further, but I mean, I'm not gonna, unless we have a little star in on top of it,
Hey,
of our
if
logo.
we win MLS Cup in this jersey, it'll be everybody's favorite
yeah.
jersey
Look,
instantly for sure.
people are just so nitpicky sometimes, man. They're like, "Oh, the hurricane, it twists a different way. I can't handle seeing the patch. The hurricane twist a different way, like if it was a toilet, bro. Like who cares? And look, I like the different patterns of purple, for example. Like you have a light purple, dark purple. I like it. The ripples, like it makes sense. You got a little gold. I was actually talking to Austin David about it. Austin was like, "Bro, the kit's actually nice when you see it in person."
I
And I
like
That's
was like,
why, like,
I like this purple that goes onto the shorts. You see
"Yeah,
that? Like
I
the
like it.
stripe
yeah.
down the side here that then
Yeah,
goes onto those shorts. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah." That's a
Yep.
whole Adidas thing of this season. All the teams in the world have that stuff,
That
but
like weird
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
for us, the different shades of purple, 50 shades of purple, kind of go really well.
Yeah. Paula, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, like, people need to understand that this is an Adidas template, to be
Yeah,
precise. Like, Adidas will give you, hey, this is the template. You do your thing. And have you seen? I don't know if it's Portland
look at this,
and
man.
and on different. I don't remember. They have the same shirt. Who is it? Let's see. Um,
Charlotte,
Oh,
Columbus.
you mean the Dallas one, the Atlanta
Yeah,
one,
the Atlanta
the
one is the same.
Chicago one, the
they're
New
the
England one.
same. They're the
They're all the
same.
same shirt. Yeah, they're all
They're the
exact. The
same.
DC one, they just changed the little patterns on the inside here, and it's just the same. Yeah, it's the same cut, just the same.
So I think who is Sounders is one,
The
and
LAFC one is the same. They're all the same.
People saying that Orlando's jersey looks like the Seattle Sounders year of the dragon Bruce Lee kid. Come on, man. Go give me a
what?
break. It does not look
No,
anything like that.
I think
no.
there's some really cool kits around the league this year. I
Yeah,
think the Goosebumps one
Bruce,
that
love
Columbus
it.
did is really cool. The San Jose one, even though on this chart Bob ranked it very bad, the San Jose one is actually really cool.
Yeah, I love the
Definitely
San
check
Jose
that
one.
one out. Like the LA Galaxy one, I think is really cool. Yeah, there's a lot. So
Look,
I actually went on another chat on Goals TV, Luis, and talked with those guys and did a ranking on jerseys. So that was fun. Lots of different people have done content ranking jerseys this year. So go check that out if you're interested.
if
How
you put back, oh sorry, if you put back that picture, but look, Miami, Atlanta, and Montreal
Oh,
are the
same.
same.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the same.
Like I
All the
wanted to
same.
do a category that was like this jersey already exists because there's so many here. They're like you already made
Hmm.
like The Atlanta one is literally the exact same jersey.
I was gonna say, what is the difference
The
between
Miami one
all
is the Messi Argentina pink version. Like that's
Yeah,
it.
then
Like
you got then they ranked, and I'm gonna say, Bob, bro, I'm sorry, man, but the LAFC one is Real Madrid 2.0.
yeah, I
Then
hate that jersey. That's
then
the
Exactly.
worst one in my opinion. You
then
can't
then
see the
the,
gold on the white. It's horrible.
then the Real Salt Lake, it tells me that people in Utah love chess,
Yeah, that
because
some
apparently,
people love that one. I think it looks really bad.
I don't
You
like
can't see
it.
the sponsor.
yeah, and
Literally, if you
apparently,
zoom in, it looks
yeah,
terrible.
and apparently the fans made that shirt. Apparently, they're the ones who picked it. I guess they like chess a lot or checkers.
Some
And
people say
then
it's like the old Barca shirt. I don't see it.
no, it does
No,
not,
no.
bro. And then you're telling me that this guy gave a super to the St. Louis kid, bro? That St. Louis kid is
All right.
trash.
I feel like we're
I'm
just bagging
sorry.
on Bob's choices, so I don't want to be too harsh on Bob. I'll say that like all of the
No,
content
I'm
I've
just saying,
seen
how
on
can
jerseys is like very controversial. Like what I might say is like this is what
exa-
I think. Other people have complete opposite point of view. Like I think that Vancouver kit is horrible, and like for example, other people have it at the top. So like everybody's opinions on jerseys are very different. Like it
yeah.
like players generally are like, oh, this is a good or bad player, but like the hot takes on jerseys are like massive, bro. Because it's like, nah, that's the ugliest jersey, and
uh,
people are like, oh, it's so nice. I'm like, what? So yeah. Anyway, but shout out to Bob. He's a great
Anyways,
dude. We just
yeah,
disagree with your
yeah,
jersey
Bob's
opinions,
the
bro.
best.
Sorry.
It's okay, man. We love you, Bob. Yeah. He's a great guy. Check out his podcast, right?
Yeah,
The
we did a deep
designated
dive with Bob as well
pundit.
in preseason, so check that out. All
Yeah,
righty,
great
Luis.
guy.
Is it time? Should we talk all about the big game?
Yeah, man. Philadelphia
Yeah.
Union. Paula, what are your expectations
A
on this
win.
game?
No,
Yeah,
no. To be honest, just to
your real
my re-
expectations.
no, jokes aside, I just want to see tweaks and get better on the defensive side on comparing our game from last Friday. It's a different atmosphere, right? Because it's a friendly, but it's a rival. But at the same time, now in this official opener game, I just need them to be more sharp in the defense line, and to score more goals. I want to see Atuesta being Atuesta again and trying to help the mid as much as possible. But at the same time, I just want the defense to look sharp because Philadelphia is one of the teams that always get to us either at late extra minute time to win or before the halftime. So I just to be careful. They're poisonous. So that's my opinion. I just want to win too.
What's your expectation, John, out of this game coming up?
Well, I mean, we have to win for sure. I'm with Paula. The expectation is to win. Philly is not the Philly of old. There is no Jim Curtin, right? That era is gone. He has left. It's now Bradley Carnell in there. So another right? Like, I think Jim Curtin, in my opinion, was a better manager than Bradley Carnell. So they've kind of gone down in management. In terms of players that they've actually, gone out the door, they've sold Jack McGlynn, who was one of their best midfielders, who's gone to Houston. Jack Elliott, remember the big center back who caused us a lot of problems? He's gone to Chicago. A few other players as well. They brought in some guys. Jovan Lukic, another guy, Danny Jean-Jacques, but no one they haven't spent crazy money. Like the most expensive guy was Jean-Jacques was 1.4 mil. So it's not like they've spent big money to replace the guys they've lost. They've had a lot of turnover. The manager is different. A lot of people are basically just saying like Philly are in a serious like rebuild year. Like they're trying to figure out what this new version of Philly looks like. A lot of people have them, maybe making the playoffs, or if they make the playoffs, right? People aren't rating Philly a lot this year. They're not like other years where we might have considered them an Upper East Side. They've really taken that dip. So at home, against this, whatever version of Philly it is, but not a strong version of Philly. We need to be getting the points. We need to be winning. There are no excuses. That's it. We got to win.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we kind of have I kind of have a starting 11 that in my use, which I'm going to put it right here real quick. They have their attack. It's obviously different strikers that they have here. They have Baribo, which is an Israeli international. Really, he didn't play much last year at all, actually, due to injury. So I feel like he's definitely going to be. They're definitely attacking wise. They're gonna Gasdag is gonna be the guy commanding the attack. You know, um, Barry will maybe a really good surprise, but I think our defense can definitely work on containing this 11. I'm scared more of their back line. You know, I think Glesnes still a pretty good center back. You got Kai Wagner,
Yeah.
you got Harriel. I mean, these seems like they're gonna be the strikers. Now, when it comes to the Lions, just like you guys said, you know, we have to pounce first. We need to score within the first. We need to control the game, and I think when the Lions score within the first 15 minutes, they are able to control their the attacking opportunities. And I think when the Lions generate, especially with the wall right behind them, I think we can definitely make a case for a strong win here. So. A lot of the pundits in Philly are saying that their biggest expectation for them, the real expectation for the fans there, is to number one, make playoffs, and number two, realistically, be a top 5 team in the East. Now we have similar expectations, I believe. I guess for us, it's top 4, right? But it goes right there. But I still feel like even with the loss of Facu Torres, Orlando's a superior team on paper. With a manager that already has a system, knows the league. So this is, it's going to be a test because Philly is always tough. Bedoya, his leadership qualities, all of that. He's going to be part of that too. But I feel like we can definitely work, on contain them and definitely beating them within the 90 minutes, and starting the season with a win. John, finally starting on the right
we really
foot.
gotta, we cannot start the season with a home loss, right? Like I think
Yeah,
the preseason hype is always there. You're gonna get those people, those casuals that are gonna come to the home opener, and you got to win your first few games at home, start the ball rolling the right way. That's something we haven't done the last few years, and that's really something that we all as a fan base would just love to see us get off to a good start for the year. In terms of like the actual game and who do we think like is going to be our starting 11, Luis? I think you kind of talked about it during the Miami game, but
yeah,
Paulo,
sure. We're gonna
what do you think
be.
on
Yep, we can definitely do our starting 11. I'm gonna plug first the Philly guys real quick.
quickly on the Philly guys while you do that? Two guys we haven't mentioned, the brothers, Quinn and Kevin. Kevin, the younger of the two, is the one, of course, I think he's 16-year-old starlet who's already got a Man City contract and is going to be with Philly until he goes off to Man City. But his older brother, Quinn Sullivan, is the better player right now in a lot of ways, and a real danger for them. So both of those guys in the midfield, you got to watch out for. They're just really raw but dangerous players. Mikel Uro is another one that has been up front for them for a while. Might get some minutes, someone that people might notice. Bedoya is still there, so shout out to Team Bedoya. Go get Alejandro because he's still in Philly. So I don't know what he's doing there, bro. Shout out to Team Bedoya in the contract. Also, Jacob Glesnes is still there. Big blonde center back. He often causes a problem. Nathan Harriel by you was a good shout. He's been getting some U.S. minutes. I think he's going to be a problem at right back for us. Not so much an attacking right back, but just like very good defensively. I think that's like the main threats we're going to see. Like you said, Gazdag as well. And the new guys, Donley, Jean-Jacques and Luke, Jovan Lukic. Let's see,
Yeah.
what they're going to bring into the midfield, what this new version of Philly looks like. But I think in terms of like the whole of the East getting stronger, Philly is not a squad that's like really done a lot to improve. They I think they just kind of replaced like for like pieces. They haven't gone out and made a big splash in the market, and they got a lot of like, yes, good MLS players, but ones that have been, not so good in the last few years. Like Gazdag is, yeah, he's got a lot of penalty goals, but he's not been like up there in the MVP conversation the last few years. Um, Also, remember their partnership with Glesnes and Jack Elliott is. I think that being broken up is big because that was such a strong partnership at center back for them. Whether this new partnership between this Galincevic guy and Glesnes is going to be any better, I don't know. We'll have to see. But there's definitely some question marks around them that we can exploit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like I'm looking at it right here. Attacking wise, I mean, these are players that Schlegel and Jansen should contain. Like even off the set piece, you know, uh, even on the counter. I mean, these are not. It's different. It's a different Philly. It's more of like a working class Philadelphia. With all due respect, obviously, with Philly, because I have a lot of respect for them. But this is how their starting lineup should be, according to my friends from Philly Sports Network. Blake up top, Harriel, Glavinovich, Glesnes, Wagner, Jocks. Three in the middle with Sullivan on the right. Gastag as your number 10. Lukic on the right, on the left. And then two up top, Baribo and Ure. Uri? Or Ure? I don't
Michael
know.
Ur.
That's how.
Ooh.
Ur.
Ure.
Michael Ur.
Ure. Where's he from?
I think
There you go.
I think it's German.
All
I
right.
can't remember.
So
Let me see
Yeah.
where he's from.
So let's read some comments real quick, and then we're gonna do our starting 11. Let's
Mikhail
say here
Uz from Denmark.
Denmark. There you
Yeah.
go.
from Denmark. There you go. Dansk. No, right? Is that how you say it? No. I think it would be great to get another left back. Can't wait for the game on Saturday. Vamos Orlando. Pasalic is fucking fast, says Guilla Carlos. Are we going to lose Nico and Holiday? Yes, forever Lions. Are we done bringing people in? No, we're not, Mimi. Not anymore. Galaxy trying to be like OC for real, man. Yeah, I mean a beautiful jersey too. 3-0 Orlando all the way, says Mimi Madness. Thank you, Mimi. Appreciate it. So 147 people live. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you guys. Keep dropping the thumbs up if you're on YouTube. If you're on X, retweet the video. So let's do our lineup. 4, 2, 3, 1.
Where I thought we were gonna
Obviously,
play like
I
4-4-2 or 5-3. No, no.
No, I think Oscar's staying the way.
Oh, okay. We're sticking with the 4-2-3. No,
I don't know.
I'm
What do
just
you
kidding.
think?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Imagine we came out with a 4-4-2. Like I
right.
would
You
fall
imagine
off my
you
chair. I'd fall off my chair, man. No.
you imagine if we come out with a 5 out back. I'll be like, come on, man. What are we doing here? Um. All right, Galese as your number 1. Unless you want Mason. Wait, never mind. He's not there. Galese, Dagger. I think everybody's in
Yes,
agreement, right? Right, John? Dagger Dan?
Yeah,
Your
I
boy?
think as good as
Daggy?
Alex is looking, I think Dagger's still the starter.
Your 2 center back duo. Obviously, there were some fans that saw David Brecala pumping some gas, wearing some cool shades in in Winter Park.
Brecalo's the Winter
Um,
Parker. Cool. Good to know.
I guess. I mean, he was in a gas. He looked like Winter Park. I don't know if he was in Winter Park, but he was looking pretty cool. I saw it on Facebook right there. Some fans
He's
took
a
a
cool
picture of
dude.
him
You can tell
pumping
Brecalo's
some
a cool
gas.
dude.
Yeah, he definitely. I can feel he listens to a lot of DJ Tiesto. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
don't know where you're
He
getting that
goes
vibe, but sure.
right, right. He goes, yeah, yeah. You got Schlegel, right? We go for Schlegel or
Yeah,
Brecalo.
Schlegel, yeah. I think Merkel is
Yeah, I
still. I don't
think
know if he's fully back yet, right? I know he had a little knock in preseason, so
He had
hopefully
muscle
nothing
tightness,
major.
something like
Yeah,
that. So
just don't be out. You know.
you got Jansen, obviously, and then right here, look, it's how you feel. Based on the last performance, I will go Kyle Smith, if you ask me. But knowing Oscar Pareja, I feel he's gonna
oh yeah,
put
for
Rafa
sure.
Santos here.
Santos gonna be there.
Do you guys feel the
Yeah.
same way? What about you, John? You feel the same
Yeah, it's
way?
gonna be rough. I think he didn't look great against Miami, but that doesn't mean that you
I mean,
drop him immediately. Give him the benefit of the doubt. He looked pretty good against Atletico Mineiro. Remember, I don't think he looked bad in that game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it was just Allende just was killing him. But
he,
Either he played really well or he was trying to get picked up.
I was gonna say
right,
he
maybe,
he
maybe.
he
Right?
put all his energy in that game.
Um,
Right.
yeah,
There
I
you go.
I think give him the bet. Like if
Um,
he starts getting cooked, bring Kyle Smith on for sure. But give him the start at least.
Now you have your double pivot, which no longer Wilder, but we have Edward Atuesta with Cesar Araujo. You guys
Yes,
agree?
100%.
Right here, this guy has to be our 10.
it
It
is.
is our 10, literally. The jersey says so. Ojeda, I think we're all on board here. And I think this is pretty much obvious. You have Ivan Angulo right here. You have Marco Pasalic. And right up top,
And
I believe it's going to be Ramiro because that's the only thing we got. Ramiro Enrique right
Yes,
there.
sir.
This Do you feel this is gonna be our starting 11? I feel this is our
If
starting
that,
11,
in fact,
guys.
I will bet somebody that is our starting 11. That's how confident I
That's our
feel
starting
that that is
11.
our starting 11, Luis. I don't see any other right now with the injuries or lack of depth we have because maybe we need a few more players in or like who are you going to switch out in this current situation for any of those guys?
I mean, the only thing I'll see is in case of injury, Nico Rodriguez goes on the left like he did
Yeah,
against
that's if
Inter.
someone comes injured. I'm saying like who's available right now. This would be your starting, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this will be
Yeah.
yeah, this is it. This is it.
Yeah. I think it's a strong
Yeah.
starting lineup, man. I think it looked good against Miami. There was, some moments of weakness, but there's always going to be that against every team. So I think overall
What
I'm
I
happy
want
with this starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to see is these three guys cooking: Jocks, Lukic, and Sullivan. I mean, at least Pasalic going past Wagner. It's gonna be tough. It was good to see the matchup Glesnes Pasalic for sure. Looking forward to that. Definitely their center back corpse when it comes to set pieces. Enrique's gonna have a tough position because of his size. Between Glavinovic and Glesnes, they're pretty tall dudes. But Orlando has that flair, that South American, that Colombian, one touch pass, you know, uh, playability that are able to definitely make them fall apart, And I think that's what we need to see within the first 15 to 10 minutes of the game. Boom, score a couple, one or two goals before the half, and then put the cherry on the cake. If this is a 4-0 win, there's gonna be not too much to analyze. I mean, I think Orlando has the power to beat this team by a margin of 3 goals or more, in my opinion. And now, if we don't do that, then that'll be something for us to analyze as well. I don't know. Well, what do you think there, John?
I think this is it, man. I'm ready. I mean, the bench, game changers. You got Alex Freeman to come on at some point potentially. Um, obviously Muriel could come on and potentially get in the 10 or there's the starter. You got Nicolas Rodriguez who's gonna hopefully come on for one of the wingers and make a difference at some point. I'm struggling outside of that to look at like Jeron Gilbert is like a nice guy, but are we gonna look at him to come on and change the game yet? I don't know. So I think there's definitely some work to do in replacing some of these other, depth options, some guys that we can bring off the bench. I think there's a few places where Like striker right
Yeah,
now, we're
like
really lacking because we don't have Duncan. We don't really have another striker to bring
yeah.
on. We don't have another left back we can
Well,
bring on. We have some defensive mids in Colin Gusky and Gervais, but they're not like really up to the standard of Cesar and Atuesta yet. So I think we're lacking game changers. That's what I would say. We're lacking people that come off the bench and make a difference. Alex Freeman is the top of that list for me as guys that could come off the bench and do something.
yeah, I feel that when it comes to this lineup, especially for like you said, depth, you can do a lot of things. You could put Muriel and sub him for Ramiro. That's your first thing. Or if you want, you can definitely, Ramiro, because you need to take care of
Yeah.
Ramiro, man. You bench Ramiro. You say, okay, okay, Martin, go up top, and you put Muriel right here. You put Muriel as your number 10.
Or maybe Nico Rodriguez at
Um,
the start, like striker. He could do that, I
you,
reckon. Or
you,
maybe even Pasalic as a striker. Like there's lots of guys you could put
yeah,
as a striker.
or yeah, I don't know if Passage could. I think Passage could be a striker as well, but I just feel like that's probably kind of more of like
Yeah.
Oscar will do, knowing Oscar, and also Oscar is not going to give, for example, Ivan the task to be a striker. I think he'll rather give Ivan the chance to be a left back, honestly, and have Nico play
Yeah.
Ivan's position, which is kind of what he did
Mm-hmm.
against Inter. Um, so we'll see what happens, but I feel Ojeda is going to, because when you're the sole striker, you're just pretty much either closing the game, or especially if you're putting a guy like Muriel that's gonna maybe hit you with a really nice assist. Now, if we see Muriel in this game not doing anything, dude, like people are gonna get
Yeah.
upset.
He
Like, I
he
mean,
missed some good chances against Miami, man. He should have scored one.
yeah,
The other thing that we could do is potentially like bring Alex Freeman on and move Dagger up into the midfield. Like let
Oh,
Dagger
that's
play
true.
right
correct.
wing.
Yeah,
That could be an option. So
yeah, you could rest Atuesta for legs, move Cesar to the left, and then put Dagger right there, and bring Freeman in. That's another option right there that you could do. Yeah, I'm on board 100%. Now, I do feel like we need to see, and I do want to say we need to see Pasalic a full 90. We need to see a Tuesta full 90. We need to see our new signings with a full 90, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying. And I would like to see Muriel, if he's going to be that replacement 9 for the meantime. Bro, score at least.
score a goal.
Bro, I
Come on
mean,
and
I think
score a
people will.
goal.
Bro, people will be content if he score 4 goals, like 5 goals before Duncan gets here. I think if Muriel scores 4 to 5 goals before Duncan gets here, I think people are gonna be like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? All
If
right,
Uriel
man.
gets like 6 goals and 12 assists this year, I'll be very happy. I'll take that
Yeah,
as
for
like,
sure,
okay, that's enough. Like
for
that's
sure.
enough.
I agree
But
with
we
you.
just we
I don't
need we
know
need
how
him to
Paulo,
produce for sure.
you know.
All right, let's do our
Um,
score predictions and then get out of here.
all right, Paula, score predictions.
3-0. 3-0.
Ooh.
All right.
3-0. Who scores?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ojeda, Enrique, and Pasalic.
I like it. Debut goal for Pasalic. I like that. All right, Luis, what you got?
2-0 Orlando. First goal, Eduardo Atuesta, debut goal. And the second goal is going to be scored by Marco Pasalic.
I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1. Ojeda and Angulo to score.
All right,
That's what I
cool,
think.
cool. And then who scores the one in Philly?
I'm not gonna give it to anybody. If it's like an accidental own goal, it's gonna be an accidental own goal that like bounces off of Jansen's back or something. You know,
Ura. Is it Ura or Uri?
Mikael Uri is gonna be the guy. No, I don't know. I just feel like we've been a little leaky in preseason, so I don't think our defense is quite 100% clicking yet. That's why I'm not sure we're gonna be able to keep out.
It's not gelling yet.
It should be because it's the same defense,
A
so there
little
should be
gel.
absolutely no reason why they don't hit the ground running. But maybe they need a few games to wake up because I think they were sleeping at times against Miami.
They were.
Yeah. It says Mimi Madness 3-0 all the way. Joshua Tall, I'm glad Philly don't have Martinez anymore. There you go. Well, guys, it's I want to thank you for your support. Definitely has been a tremendous episode today. About 170 people watching. Again, congratulations to Joran Gerbet for signing with the first team. We're definitely looking forward to see him coming and making an impact. I'm sure he will do that. Forever Lions to Mikey Holiday and definitely to Nico Lodero. Sorry it didn't work out, but we wish you guys the best. To all of you, check us out on your social media. We're available on YouTube, also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts right after this episode. X at LPO_podcast, Instagram at LPO_podcast, on Facebook, and on Blue Sky as Latin Pride Orlando. Anything else you want to add, John, before we go?
No, just thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. Please go ahead and engage with us wherever. I feel like it's been a long off season for us, Louise, even though it hasn't. I just feel like we've done so much in this off season to get ready, and now the season is here, so it's exciting stuff. I'm ready to get it underway. Let's get this dub against Philly. Let's get these 3 points.
Paola, anything else you want to say before we go?
Thank you for listening, and vamos Orlando.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget, on Wednesday, we're going to be having a special episode with Taylor from Orlando City, UK.
True.
It's going to be broadcasted right here in Latin Pride Orlando. Stay tuned for all the social media
that
posts.
Is our 2025 season prediction. So everything we think of the season. And also in 5-10 minutes, right, Luis? We're going to be starting the Orlando Pride Pod right after this. So if you're an Orlando Pride fan, go grab a drink and then check back in because we're going to be right back here to talk everything Orlando Pride in a minute as well.
Thank you, guys. Vamos Orlando. Take care. Have a good one. Take care.